What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So on today's video, I'm just kind of doing some upgrades to my truck that I've been wanting to do for a while, and in my opinion, stuff that should have been a factory option regardless of what you optioned your truck out at. It's like a $100 option, should have just come standard on the truck, but here we are, and now we're going to fix what should have happened from the factory. So for any of you guys that have a newer Super Duty, or not even newer, but even just like mid-2000s, I can't remember when they started putting the Upfitter switches in. I believe it was with the 6.0 in like 03. But so you'd typically have your Upfitter switches here right next to your brake controller. And as you can see, mine, even though it's a 2013 and it is a King Ranch, they still, for whatever reason, felt that they didn't need to put those switches in from the factory. So fortunately, it is a fairly cheap and easy fix to do yourself. There's all kinds, you don't need to go out and buy the OEM switches and relays and everything. That gets way too expensive, way too stupid. There's all kinds of kits you can find on eBay or Amazon for around $100, and you can easily do this yourself. The kit I got is from Amazon, and it'll do the job just fine. Now I know there are quite a few other videos out there already on doing this whole project, but I felt that they just really did not get to the point. The cameras were just all over the place and just annoying background noise, and I wanted to kind of do a video. Since I was already doing this, figured I might as well do one that would hopefully help a bunch of people out. So right here is what I got in the package from Amazon, guys. It's just, and I will have this linked for you guys in the description, that way you can see exactly where I got it. So I'll give you a little thank you card. Some gloves for whatever reason, I guess that's kind of cool. And then right here should be the switches and the relay pack. So those all come nice bubble wrap packaging. Nothing's going to get damaged that way. Looks just like the OEM stuff. So this is all supposed to be plug and play, guys. No splicing or anything is required. So you got your kind of long wire here that's going to feed up to the dash. There's your switch pack there. I don't know if you can see on the video, but each of those right there is just a little LED diode that'll light up amber when the switch is on. And then there is your relay pack. As I was saying, this should have happened from the factory, but these trucks actually have all the wiring in place for this to be done. They're just empty plugs sitting in the dash with nothing attached to them. So they only used the one wiring harness, as far as I know, for all the trucks, and then it was just kind of whatever options you picked, you got, and whatever you didn't, the wiring's there, it just doesn't have anything attached to it. So back inside the truck, I've seen some videos where guys were saying you had to remove this entire trim piece just to get to this and to take this out, which really that's all you're going for, guys. You're taking out this coin tray holder, whatever the heck they want to call that thing. That just has to be popped out, and then you're going to be feeding some wires back through the dash, and it's going to come up under here. I personally don't see any reason to have to take this entire thing off. In the videos that I watched where they did take it off, it was incredibly pointless. All you're doing is kind of opening yourself up to possibly breaking these plastics. So what I'm going to do is just pull this off, and that's kind of what I'd recommend you guys do too. If I have like some horrible issue where I can't fish the wire up there, then I'll let you guys know. But otherwise, I think just removing that is going to be the way to go. Then you're also going to need to pull out this panel right here that's underneath the steering wheel. That's just going to pull straight out. There's some clips, tabs, whatever, that are holding it in, and it'll just pop right out. And then also you will have to remove this piece here just to get to that relay pack. So for this panel on the side of the dash, guys, I find that it's going to be helpful to kind of pull away this weather stripping, because it kind of comes off over here and this kind of holds it in. And then the best way to start pulling it out is going to be to come here on the bottom, where you can kind of get a finger in there and then just kind of pop it right out of there. For this lower dash piece, you kind of grab here right above the OBD2 port, and then same thing on the other side. There's kind of a little gap in there. Oh yeah, right here. I was grabbing the whole frame, but you can kind of get a finger in there. There you go. And just pop these things out. There you go. You can see the backside, kind of how it's held in there. So for the little coin holder here, I think you can kind of feel there's some gaps down there. You can barely get your finger in. Yeah, and that thing just pops right out of there. Absolutely zero reason to remove this entire trim piece just to get that little thing out of there. But now you guys can kind of see where we're going to be fishing the wire into. Go back through there, and then it's going to come kind of through here through the lower dash, and then go up to a plug that is somewhere up in there. I'm going to have to find to show you guys. All right, guys, I'm going to try to see if I can get you an angle of where this plug is at without absolutely butchering the camera shot. But so if you come in here where the kick panel is, you can see this kind of steel bracing here. We're basically right underneath sort of the shifter column. So if you see this black, it's kind of like a hose. I think it's one of the ventilation hoses that go, or one of the heater hoses that basically blows out over on this side here where we pulled off that side panel. But if you look right underneath it, there's this gray plug here, and it's got this pin here on the side, see this white clip? And that kind of holds it up there. There really isn't much slack at all. So I pulled it off of there, and that was able to get it down to where I can get to it. And then as you can see, oh man, come on, focus. Yeah, there's this dummy plug here on the end. So basically that's got to be popped off, and then your upfitter switches are going to plug in place there. There's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to do this with just one hand, but I really wanted to get you guys a shot of where to find this plug because I have not seen anyone really show where you can actually find this thing at, but that's where it's at, guys. All right, so now we're moving on to the relay pack, which is basically going to sit behind this current relay pack I have in this truck. I don't know if this is how all of them are, or if this is just because mine's a King Ranch and maybe had some option that required this. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the way. It's just a little clip that holds on here, and then you just got this plug that comes undone right there, and I think that should give me enough room to where I can kind of work that relay pack into position. So at least with how my truck is, you're gonna have to start with the relay pack. It's gonna have to get put in here. It's gonna mount to that little hole down there on the kind of rusted metal section, and then there's another hole right up there. So both of these, my other clip is sitting in the cup holder right now, but those are going to mount in there. This kit did not come with screws, so I'm gonna have to get some screws that will fit that, but then it's gonna have to go back in there and get mounted that way. If you can see in there, there's this whole metal plate that blocks it, so it's pretty much impossible to plug in your upfitter switches, then that second plug, and then feed this relay pack back over there because it's just completely blocked off by that metal plate that's right in the way. All right, so the relay pack is mounted. Those were pretty hard to get to, especially this top one. I ended up using some small 7mm screws. It might not be what you guys end up using. It's just what I happen to have laying around that would work with those clips. So you had the one there that I was able to get with just a 1/4-inch ratchet and a short socket. Was able to get that tightened in there without too much trouble. It was just a hard time getting the screw actually lined up. This bottom one here I was able to easily get with just a 1/4-inch ratchet, an extension, and then the socket, and that got right in there. So now that relay is all set to go. I just gotta go ahead and put back in that factory relay pack and all that other stuff, and then we're done on this side. So the relay pack is plugged in up there to the factory wiring. So now all we got left is our ground, which I still got to figure out where to ground that, somewhere on this dash frame. And then I just got to pull the plug for my switch pack up to the dash. I got my 14 gauge little chunk of Romex wire that I fed through here, and we're going to use that to pull it up there. Apologize, I couldn't really get this part on camera, but as you can see, we have pulled the harness up through. And the only thing I'm really going to say about that is make sure when you loop it, you don't have like anything that's going to hook as it pulls through. And then also don't just freaking reef on it. Like, you want to go somewhat easy on it because those are pretty small wires and you could probably pretty easily tear this plug off of there. So kind of work it through, make sure to feed it in from the backside too so it's not snagging on anything, and you should have no problems. Now we're through, and we can go ahead and plug our switch pack in and shove that back into the dash. Just got this switch panel snapped into place. It required absolutely nothing as far as moving around the trailer brake. It just snapped right back in, just like how that coin holder was. Absolutely perfect fit. There was nothing else I had to do other than just pop it right in there. So for my ground, guys, I ended up going up underneath here where the OBD2 port attaches. So I just took a small washer and kind of sandwiched that terminal in between the washer and the metal frame and grounded it to there. I'm sure there's a lot better ways it could be done, but that's just how I ended up doing it. And so now we'll see if it works. So as you can see, all the switches light up. Pretty cool. It's the same color as all the other buttons and everything in the truck. So we already know that it works. And then as you can see, each one lights up an amber color to let you know that it's on. So pretty cool, guys. That is how they install, and basically now all I got to do is just throw my trim pieces back on and it's wrapped up. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking, okay, well now you got the switches in, how do you actually wire something up? So I'm not going to actually cover that in this video. I'm going to cover that once I get a light bar to put on this truck and install. But just to let you guys know, my understanding is, so you got these 4 wires that come off this relay pack. My understanding is that that is for each of those 4 switches, and they can be tied in to 4 of the wires that are in this pack of wires that go through the firewall. This is all factory wiring here. My understanding is that you can go into those, and then these wires lead out into the actual engine bay, and that's where you can wire in things like light bars and whatnot. But there'll be more to come on that once I actually figure out exactly how this whole thing does work. This video was just meant to show how to install the actual switches, which we have done. So hopefully this video helped you guys, and I'll definitely be putting out another video too here soon once I get a light bar to put on the front of this truck, because the stock headlights suck, and being as it's winter now, I really need something to help me see a little bit better at night. So we're gonna find a place to tuck that. I'm thinking I'll probably put it in the bumper, because these bumpers have a really nice spot right there where a light bar fits perfectly. So we'll be doing that, and then I'll go through and fight through the whole how to wire it up to these Upfitter switches with you guys. So stick around for that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.